What is going on, guys? Forza Milan. Good morning, and good afternoon, good evening, the whole shebang, guys. The whole shebang. I hope everybody's having a great day wherever you are. I hope everybody is living this Derby weekend in the best ways possible. The Derby is coming up. The Derby is coming up. The greatest Derby on earth is coming up. The stracittadina rival Derby della Madonnina, um, Inter versus Milan. We have Guida on the helm. Guida is going to be Guida is going to be the referee for this game. Now, Guida has refereed this game a bunch of times, and Inter have had more positive results with this referee rather than Milan. So either he's going to help Inter or Milan needs to balance things out. Forza Milan from India. What's up, AJ? How you doing, my man? Joel. Calabria was being booed in San Siro a couple of years ago. Now he's our captain, Grande Davide. We're going to get smashed, says Silverware. Rebic and Zlatan potentially outside. Wow. Why always us? Yes, yes, it is. It is going to be another one of those head scratchers. Another one of those head scratchers. Um, well, guys, listen. Speaking about Calabria, he had an interview recently, and I haven't read through this interview, but it was very interesting. It looks like he has some very interesting and good words for the squad. Calabria being a player of the youth system, he is one of our products. He is one of the AC Milan products. So Calabria is a really good example of what it's like when you start from AC Milan and you have the ability to stay in the team. You see that Calabria, when he plays, he has this extra something. He has that extra something that maybe the other guys don't have. This extra attachedness, this extra love for the club that you really can't buy. Those are kind of things that can only happen organically and naturally when you are raised in, let's say, a family like the AC Milan family. And now here he is, I think 18 years in. He is 18 years in, and now he's vice captain of a team after Romagnoli. And he is one of the heroes of this Pioli generation, of this Pioli cycle, one of the players that helped Pioli achieve his objectives. Very, very excellent. And very excited to read what he said about it. Obviously, he talks about the Derby. He's asked a few questions about lots of stuff. So we're going to find out a little bit about our vice captain, Calabria. Here we go. The long-awaited derby between AC Milan and Inter is now just a few days away, and the tension is rising. It's a game that means a lot. Not it's a game. It's a game that means a lot, not just for confidence, but also for the standing with the two teams close to each other. The Rossoneri suffered a tough defeat against Spezia, but somewhat recovered against Juventus, although one could argue that they should have won that. In that sense, the Derby has double meaning to bounce back and also get that Derby confidence boost. Now, winning this Derby would be extremely important because if you pay attention to the points here, Milan at 49 points. If we can win this Derby, we can go 1 point from Inter, even though they do have a game at hand, but that could give us a nice little boost of confidence and could shake Inter's boots a little bit. Inter deserves to have their boots shooken. Shooken. I think that's the right word. So I think Milan can go into this game with no worries, no fears whatsoever, and just give Inter a taste of the good AC Milan medicine. In an interview with DAZN, cited by Milan News, Milan's vice captain Davide Calabria shared his thoughts on the derby, his future with the club, and one player he would he would remove from the Inter squad on Sunday. All right, guys, I don't know who this player is, but if I were to guess who it would be, it would be either Martinez or Barella, one of those two. On his first derby, let's see if I got that right. On his first derby, having grown up with the shirt on, it was certainly a special day. My whole family are Milan fans. Wow! So Calabria, not only he has developed his footballing journey in the youth academy, but his whole family is Milanista. So this guy was a born Milanista. This guy is the real deal. This guy is the real deal. Um, wasn't it? You know what? That made me connect some things. Wasn't it Donnarumma, whose father is Interista, right? The father was Interista. Do you think that affected the situation with Donnarumma? Hmm. All right. On the old derbies, and I'm not saying that as a joke. I believe that is true. I believe that is true. Donnarumma's father is an Interista, so it's not like they had. And because I remember reading about that, and they were, and Donnarumma was kind of making fun about that. I'm not sure if that is correct, but I'll check into it. On the old derbies, full of champions, I remember the great teams of the days of Ancelotti and Allegri. I grew up with that Milan, with those great players, and for a RossonARI fan, it was a wonderful period. Yeah, I remember those derbies too. Those derbies were sick. The best derby is the derby of Cesare Maldini, the one where he beat Inter 6, what was it, 6-0? Um, that was prior to Ancelotti. That was a derby that they, Inter, will remember forever. I don't think Inter has ever beaten us that bad. Not like that. Not like that. And also, when it comes to the derbies, we have the biggest advantage because we beat Inter twice in the Champions League to go through to the next group stages. So those are the real derbies. Those are the derbies that matter. As a matter of fact, I remember when we beat Inter, I believe it was in 2003. The fans were so salty. The fans were so salty that they had to stop the game. They were throwing what do you call those, sparklers or those fireworks kind of things, cracklers. I'm not sure what you call them. They were throwing that shit on the field, and there's that famous picture of Rui Costa and Marco Materazzi watching the standing together side by side as the game was being paused. And as a matter of fact, I believe Milan won that game 3-0 because Inter was suspended. That was a very, very, very good game. That was the epitome of saltiness because at that point in period, it was obvious that this rivalry, this inner city rivalry, was being dominated by AC Milan. But it wasn't. AC Milan wasn't just dominating the AC Milan rivalry. AC Milan was starting to dominate Europe, and you got that sense. You got that sense that AC Milan was most likely going to or I thought in 2003 when I was looking at those. I remember in 2003 when I used to buy the Champions League book every fucking week, and I used to be a nerd and I used to follow everything. I used to know every single player on every single team. And I remember 2003 reading all the rosters of every single team in the 2003 Champions League. And when I came to Milan's page, I was like, we have the best team. Like it's not even a joke. We have the best team. And at that point, Galliani and co really put together what had to be the best team in Europe, and a team that could have made four finals in that season, four finals in that run. Maybe even, honestly, we could have made even more because that game against Deportivo, I don't know what happened there. They say that for some reason, the Deportivo players were running twice as much as they usually do. Actually, there was hints that the Deportivo players were doped. There was hints about that the players were saying. I remember Pirlo saying that. But anyway, yes, the Derby. What great memories the Derby brings. What great memories. On the photo with Maldini, I have one with Maldini, but I asked him after 6 years of playing with his son. At Vismara, we sometimes saw him hiding in the woods behind the central court. He didn't go to the stands, but he went behind. Okay. So, of course, Maldini is a legend to all of these players. Interesting how Maldini has to go behind the stands, because if he goes in the stands, he's going to be stampeded. On the first derby played, the first derby I played was the one from the Chinese era at 12:30. I remember when we got the news about the derby being played at 12:30, we said that maybe it was the first time in history. Oh wow, okay. It was a good game anyway. We were down 2-0 and then we drew in the 97th minute with Zapata. It was a great emotion. There were a lot of fans, a good memory. Okay, so his first derby was actually a very positive one. Was actually a very positive one. I don't remember that particular derby. I gotta say, when it comes down to the so-called Chinese era, the banter era, what you want to call, there are not many games, there are not many moments that really stick. I mean, I don't. Maybe because I've lived other eras that the team was very successful, and those moments take, even though they were maybe even 20 years back or 25 years back. Man, I can still remember back in the 90s. Guys, isn't this weird? I can remember the feeling of watching Milan, and and I still have visions of watching Milan in the early 90s, but I cannot remember one single game of the banter era. Like I can glimpses here and there, but not even one single game comes to mind. And I watched every single game. I even though it was a torture, I watched every single game. Um, the banter era is just a period that came and went, and you know what it was about the banter era that really maybe didn't make me want to regurgitate, or it made me just, let's say, regurgitate those memories, is because it never felt like Milan. When Berlusconi sold, and then Young Gon Lee took a hold of the club, and then Fassore and Mirabelli and their way of doing things, it didn't feel like Milan. It felt like something new. The coaches, I think Montella was okay. He was all right, but it just didn't feel like Milan. It just did not feel like Milan. Um, the moment Milan started to feel like Milan, at least for me, was when Gattuso was the coach. That was the first glimpses of, okay, Milan. This could be it. This could be Milan coming back. Gattuso is going to bring back that mentality, and then pretty much Pioli, Maldini, Gazidis, and Massaro. And everybody else right now. These people brought back that feeling of Milan. These people are the ones that brought back that feeling of Milan. Gattuso was the beginning of it. Giampaolo, when Giampaolo came in, I was like, Maldini, dude, you, what the fuck are you doing, bro? What the fuck are you doing? But Giampaolo, thank God that didn't work. And then when Pioli came in, I was already defeated when Pioli came in. When Pioli came in, I was like, oh my God, what are these guys doing? And then Pioli just fucking surprised all of us. Wow, the Pioli surprised all of us. And this is where, I have to give credit where credit is due. Pioli has done an amazing job at working with the with the players he has been given, because obviously, as we all know, Milan doesn't have the ability like Man City to splash 200 million on one single market, 300 million for one single market. But this whole project with Gazidis, with Maldini, has been extremely great. And Pioli has done such a great job. Anyway, I got a little bit diverted. Let's keep on going here. On Çalhanoğlu's penalty, honestly, from the pitch, I would never have said it was a penalty on that occasion. However, I experienced it as a moment of the match against us, and that led us to concede goals. But we did not take it personally. Okay. Yeah. On the future, I've been here for a lifetime, and I hope I'll wear this shirt forever. There it is. And you know that when he says it, he actually means it. Then it's not just up to me to decide. There will be so many things, and I feel that way today. I really hope that he continues to develop. I really hope that he continue. I don't see him going anywhere else. I don't see him going anywhere else. On Inter's possible mini climb, it's still early to think about this. We want to win, and potentially we can be much closer. We'll talk about it from Sunday. Okay. On the defeat against Spezia, the Scudetto is won in those games when it seems like something isn't working. But then at the last moment, you bring home the 3 points. Yeah, that Spezia game, guys, that Spezia game is a problem because those 3 points are very, 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 very important in a race that is so tight. Um, Very important in a race that is so tight. If he has ever been in curvas, no way. On the presence of the fans really created an exciting atmosphere. You enter the stadium and you feel galvanized by the crowd. To have them or not to have them is two different games. Of course, it's always a derby and it's a fundamental match. Now, of course, the Inter fans, there's going to be more Inter fans, but I don't know. The Curva Sud, the Curva Sud is louder and has more personality than any other curva in Italy. So it doesn't matter. If he has been in the Curva Sud, speaking of the Curva Sud, I never went to the Curva Sud. I used to go to the Inter corner for Milan matches because it was cheaper. In fact, the second Verde was my place for this. The Secondo Verde, that's the ring. Okay, so that is interesting. He used to go to the Inter Curva, Inter corner because it was cheaper. So he was a cheap ass. On the new stadium in Milan, this thing is under everyone's eyes. There's more income, there's more economic power, and consecutively more results in having its own stadium. Now, having your own stadium is going to change the game. It is going to change the game. And if we look at Juventus and how they built their stadium and how that has helped them with their revenue, guys. Speaking of revenue, I do want to say something before I move on. Rohit wrote an amazing piece on Sempre Milan regarding the state of Milan's finances. And because it was such a great piece, I invited Rohit to do a show where we're going to feature him, and he's going to go through all of that. And that is going to be this Saturday, 8 p.m. Guys, do not miss the show with Rohit this Saturday, 8 p.m. Rohit wrote this beautiful piece on Sempre Milan. I'm not going to go through it today. We're not going to look at it. We're going to save it for Saturday. And we're going to have the man himself, the man that wrote it, explain us everything we need to know about the finances of AC Milan. What a phenomenal piece Rohit wrote on Sempre Milan, and how lucky are we to get him on the show and talk about it. All right, so guys, stay tuned for that Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific. Onteo and Leao, they're young players, but they really have a lot of talent. They're probably realizing their talent now, but I think they can become two top players in their respective roles in the future. In the defensive phase, they're working well, and I think that was the missing piece. They're improving, and they give us a big hand. Yeah, if Leao starts to defend and starts to put that kind of work, and then he can maintain his same offensive output, then Leao at that point is going to be top of the hill. On Ibrahimovic, he's a stronger player who attracts the attention of the defense. Having him or not makes a difference. And if he plays at this level at his age, it's always better to have him on your side. That is true. That is 100% true. I would rather play. I would rather play with Ibra rather than against Ibra, even at 40 years old. And I think the majority of the people would agree with that. On which player he would remove from Inter? Guys, I did not get it. I was completely wrong. I did not get it. I think their strong point is the defense. Up front, they have talent and great players. I would remove a defender, probably De Vrij. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I'm thinking Barella, I'm thinking Martinez, but he's thinking De Vrij. For some reason, I've never given the Inter defenders a lot of clout. I mean, they're good. They are good. And Inter as a unit is really strong. They haven't conceded many goals. but do they really have such a great defense as far as names? Yeah. All right. So the derby is scheduled for 18 CET on Saturday, which isn't exactly the usual slot for that game. Hopefully, Stefano Pioli's men will put in a great shift and send an important signal to the rest of the teams fighting for the top four. That is kind of strange. This game is going to be at what time is that? It's going to be early in the afternoon, right? Early in the afternoon in Italy. All right, guys. So there you go. Calabria says he wants to stay at Milan forever. He wants to stay at Milan forever. Let's see what you guys are up to in the chat. Let's see. 11 maggio 2001. Oh, Seedorf, man, that derby was kick ass. That goal, woo, that goal was crazy. That's the one where Dida got hit, right? Yeah, the Champions League one. Yeah. That derby was 2005. We knocked them out in the semis and we beat Juve in final. Good times. Yep. Dida was hit with a flare too. Correct. If someone throws shit at Magnan, he'll probably throw that shit back. We lost to effing Liverpool. Man, Liverpool right now has, well, actually no. We did have our little revenge. Forza Milan. What's up, Christian? How you doing? No Tomori, no Ibra, no Rebic. We just effed up from 2005, 2010. We let Inter dominate and we win multiple Scudetti. That is the reason we keep barking now. Well, I mean, I think we did great up until 2007. And then from 2007 onwards, things started to go back down. I think Inter will win due Scudetti from 2004 till now. That sucks. Yeah, that is not very good. Banter was that long ago. All right. Yeah, it really does hurt, to be honest with you. It really does hurt. Because the 2005, it really still stings to this day. We got Nathan in the house. What's up, Nathan? It's a great time for fans in India. 10:30 p.m. Okay, nice, good. Ah, that's really good. From the time they started comparing Bastoni to Maldini, I stopped paying attention. To be fair, yeah, right. It's not like they have amazing defense. I mean, maybe they do. I guess I I haven't paid attention to that. All right, guys, let's go through some of these articles today because there are quite a few that are very interesting and very revealing. Let's start with this one here about Zaniolo. So recently in the news, with the agent of Zaniolo has stated that Zaniolo might not be a Roma player next season. Zaniolo's contract expires in 2024. So it looks like there's going to be a race for Zaniolo, maybe a bidding war. And this is what Sky says. Milan registered interest in Roma star Zaniolo, competition from Spurs and Juventus. Okay. Milan are one of the teams monitoring the situation surrounding the Roma winger Nicolo Zaniolo and could make a move in the summer, a report claims. According to the latest from Sky, the future of Nicolo Zaniolo is still to be deciphered. Roma have not ruled out the idea of a permanent sale of the 22-year-old, so there could be possible developments as we head towards the window reopening. In the coming months, Juventus and Milan are expected to send signals of interest to the player and his entourage, which could then lead to a more concrete negotiation with his club Roma. However, there is competition from the Premier League as Antonio Conte's Spurs are also keen on Zaniolo, who is out of contract in the Italian capital in 2024. He has 2 league goals and 19 appearances so far in the current league campaign and is trying to reach his best form again after recovering from a second cruciate ligament injury. I do find it really unlucky that all the best Italian players are getting this stupid injury. Zaniolo on both knees, Chiesa now. I mean, fuck. This injury sucks. It's an injury that keeps you out for such a long time, and you waste so much time just laying down on a bed. Yeah, so this idea of Zaniolo maybe coming to Milan is we will see. We will see what happens this summer if there's going to be any movement. Um, Juventus might go in hard for him, but Milan, according to this journalist, let's see, let's look for him, has put together this idea that Milan might be spending around 80 million this summer. 80 million this summer. Let's look for this article because it was a very interesting article, and if you really think about it, it kind of does make sense. That's where Milan want to go to. They want to get three players, and those three players all together are going to be close to 80 million. Here you go. A journalist claims Milan are working on potential 85 plus million triple swoop. Contacts continue. The January transfer window only closed on Monday, but it has become apparently that the AC Milan management are preparing to do more substantial business in the summer, with three players already targeted. According to what is being reported by journalist Rudy Galletti on Twitter, Milan went to get two signings wrapped up ahead of June in the coming weeks, and both of them involved negotiation with Lille and Botman. The number one target for the center back position, and Renato Sanchez, the man earmarked to bolster the midfield. They will continue contacts with the League One side in the coming weeks to try and beat the competition for the 22-year-old Dutchman and the 24-year-old Portugal international, who they were unable to land in January. Meanwhile, the journalist adds that contact continues with Noah Lang's entourage, the agency Wasserman, over a summer move. Milan view the Dutch winger, 22, from Club Brugge as a useful reinforcement for the attack, given he can play as a winger or as a centre forward. Transfer market have the value of Botman at 30, Sanchez at the same amount, and Lang at 25, meaning it could be an 85 million plus triple swoop. Yes, I mean, as we have spoken before, and also Rohit is going to show us on Saturday. Milan should have those kind of funds. They should have those kind of funds available coming into this next mercato. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to land these guys. These are their first options. Let's see if they can't. There's going to be a lot of players that are going to be also in the list of Pioli when it comes to, Pioli or the management when it comes to potential stars. But those prices look correct to me. It's the same kind of prices they spent for Theo Hernandez, for Leao, and for all these players. So, only time will tell. And the summer can be a very interesting time for AC Milan. And I think that we will reinforce ourselves very nicely in the summer. I believe we will reinforce ourselves very nicely. And we will lose two players, both players that at the end we came to discover are Raiola players. Kessie is a Raiola player. This is why Atangana acts like Raiola. There is a connection. Atangana, his lawyer, one of Atangana's lawyer that deals with him, is also one of Raiola lawyers. So there's a network. There's a network there that is happening there behind the scenes. So practically, Kessie is a Raiola. He's an agent of Raiola. Kessie. All right. So Raiola has power when it comes to Kessie. And I was thinking, Atangana kind of does really reminds me a lot of Raiola. And now everything comes together. Everything comes together. Raiola has connections and ties, and there's a network there when it comes to the lawyers with Kessie. So Raiola is getting involved in Kessie's contract talks for his future. So both these players that are connected to Raiola seem to be leaving, Romagnoli and Kessie. And both of these players need to be replaced. They need to be replaced. So unfortunately, we have no choice but to spend money to replace these two players. And that's a problem. You could say that's something that maybe is slowing us down, right? Because if we didn't need to replace these two players, we can we could we could focus more on maybe a big signing, right? A really big signing. But these two players here, when it comes to their contracts, they want unreasonable contracts that make absolutely no sense, that are just going to break the bank. Um, so we have to replace them, and they have to replace them for players that are going to be valid. Renato Sanchez, I'll take any day over Kessie, guys. Any day over Kessie, even though Renato Sanchez has a little bit more, injury issues, while Kessie doesn't. But Renato Sanchez, guys, when the ball is on his feet, that ball is singing. It's singing. That ball is poetry. That ball is Sanchez's feet talk the AC Milan language, and this is what we want. Honestly, we want to win, but when we want to win playing beautiful football, we don't care about winning like fucking Juve. We don't care winning like Mourinho's Inter. We care about winning like Arrigo Sacchi's Milan, Carlo Ancelotti's Milan. So there's absolutely no question about it that the better the player is with his feet, the more welcome he is. As far as Van Botman, a player that I personally do not know that well, aside from the highlights I've seen of him, he seems like a very Stam kind of defender. So it'd be a good tactical, let's say, it'd be a good tactical um, weapon to have if you have Tomori on one side that is more interceptions, physical, fast, speed, and then you have Botman, who is also very athletic, also extraordinarily athletic for his height, but just Botman will win everything in the air, and his sliding tackles are quite something. So I trust Maldini and the crew. If they identified Botman as the right person, I'm pretty sure there's really, I mean, at this point, any player that Maldini chooses, you just can't say that didn't work out. You just can't say that didn't work out. So the clout is there. Whoever Maldini chooses, he's going to do well. Okay. Let's keep on going. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. Raiola is a Tangana's master. Dude, I knew it. There's too many similarities. There's too many similarities, but at the end of the day, the devil reveals itself. Yeah, Ali doing great. I was watching a little bit of Ali's work so far, and he's a leader. Ali has leader qualities, and we definitely. I hope that this is another player that we able to get while he was this cheap, and let's see how he develops in Milan. Let's see what he will look like. There was talk of Saliba from Marseille too. Sandra's injury prone. If he comes to Milan, he'll die from injuries. Now Roy Casillo Day. Yes, get them out. Barella or Tonali, who's better? Today, Barella is better, no doubt. But Tonali is getting there, guys. Tonali is getting there. Obviously, Barella right now is going to his 24th year. Barella is 23, going to 24. He's won the Euro as an absolute protagonist. Played every single game. He's won the Scudetto as an absolute protagonist, and he was very stupid this year in Champions League, but he's definitely an amazing player. Barella is a top notch player. Italy is lucky to have Barella. All right. What is this all about? Forbes. Forbes, eh? Milan made an appearance on Forbes. Okay, really? This is going to be good. This is going to be good. AC Milan have not had it easy and off the field over the past few years, but things are trending in the right direction, and the club stand to prove that an old theory is true. Okay. Forbes writes how the pandemic has hit the football world hard in the past 2 years, with UEFA itself has estimated the losses in the 2019, 2020, 2021 season at 9 billion. Holy shit. Which means that the sports as a whole is experiencing a turning point from a socio-economic perspective. Ooh, this is going to be nice. What can help during this uncertain upcoming period? Reputational capital, which is actually becoming an increasingly tangible resource when capturing the attention and imagination of a new generation of fans. Ooh, nice. I like how this journalist writes. A lot of reports that Sempre Milan, a lot of the reports that Sempre Milan puts together are basically in Italian, and then they get translated, right? And but this one here, you can already tell there's a difference in quality. No offense, Oliver, I love you. Ismail Benacer contract extension with AC Milan is at the final stage. Boom. Yes, sir. Thank you, Easyborn, for bringing the good news. RossonARI are confident to close the agreement until 2026, 3.2 million a year soon. Bam. That's how you do it. Antonio, Roy, you the man. What's up, Antonio? I hope we never sign a Royal player ever again. Me too, bro. Me too. Blue Knight season. It's coming, guys. It is coming. It is coming. We gotta make a decision. We gotta make a hard decision. So the Blue Knight is coming, and then back in the summer it's going to be Blue Knight season again. So right now we got to make tough decisions, and some people are going to cry. Some people are going to be disappointed that they didn't get the Blue Knight because they probably feel they deserve it. But that's the way the game goes. One will rejoice, everybody else will. Back? Are we back? Are we back? We are back. We are back. No problem. Gotta monitor the audio situation. Gotta monitor the audio situation. Uh, Audio's out. Can't hear. No audio. All right, guys. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, here we go. Let's go. There we are. Okay. No sector like this tests the ability and preparation for a structure dedicated to communication. The balanced management of a passion and emotion, the ability to activate resilient communication, carefully handling backlashes and up and down in the world of football. They're fundamental elements to be able to preserve the reputation of the club. Well, you know what? Reading this, and having an idea of what most and having an idea uh, of most Milan fans, it looks like it's not working because the majority of Milan fans are in panic mode. The majority of Milan fans are not happy right now. They are afraid that Milan is going to get their ass kicked and Milan is going to lose the fifth spot. At least that's what it looks like right now. So I mean, I don't know what this is definitely not what's going on. What this guy's saying. No sector like football catalyzes the passions and attentions of millions of people. He is constantly under the magnifying glass of the media, stakeholders, and millions of fans. European football actually seems to offer a great opportunity to those who are ready to invest and perhaps even to risk. Obviously, in order to be able to generate value, it is also necessary to work on the transformation of the organizational culture, developing components that are still little considered up to now, but are extraordinarily relevant in the view of the evaluation of the global economy, such as the value elements related to ESG, environmental, social, and corporate governance, sustainability, and reputational dimensions. At AC Milan, we aim to be perceived as a sports brand with a high global reputation, considered innovative and avant garde, expressing a vision of football on and off the pitch. In recent years, Milan have adopted a multi-directional communication path with the creation of its own studios and the birth of the esports team, as well as a series of partnerships consistent with the innovative vision such as those with Sony, Apple, Google, and Rock Nation. I mean, all of this is very good. All of this is very good. And they want to basically modernize AC Milan and they want to make it in avant-garde. Now, anyway, football is pure passion, an emotional bond, essential prerequisites for an engaging and captivating storytelling. But we must be aware that, more than in other areas, there is a need to channel all this emotionally, to structure a path that is effective in the medium long term, integrating the multiple touchpoints, tools, and channels on a global scale. All of this season in evidence as be, all of this seen in evidence as being a success too. A study published in December by YouGov elected AC Milan as the most admired brand in Serie A, while the CEO of Milan, Ivan Gazidis, is considered the most appreciated managing director in Italy of according to an investigation by Ipsos and Stage Up. Well, would you look at that? Gazidis is being his work is being appreciation. There was also another article with Gazidis. We'll look into that a little bit later. Vercellone concluded, in football, it is not enough to be considered a love mark because, in their own way, all brands tend to want to become one. In order to excel, you need to be able to make as many people fall in love as possible through different modalities, cultural approaches, and relationship dynamics. But above all, you need to have increased sensitivity to keep the emotional bond alive. We must project forward without fear towards the future, looking beyond with great love. What an interesting article. Interesting article. I had no idea who this guy was. I guess he is, wow. I mean, he has a lot of corporate experience. Um, I guess he's helping Milan modernize the club, communications. That's probably talking about social media and all different strategies they're doing. But honestly, it's all good. It's all good and dandy right now. It's not there yet. I guess we still have to see. I still see other clubs, especially the Premier League clubs, get a lot more attention globally than the Italian clubs. So let's see how that goes. Anyway, Gazidis is appreciated by everyone but Milanisti. I'm not as nervous about this derby like the last one. I feel like we're going to win. Nice. I like that. I like that attitude. Roy, your ads are weird. To be honest, I can't hear Roy. He makes more sense when he's mute. Oh, nice. Thank you. Daniele Maldini set to start as Cam in the derby. No way. That is not true. That is definitely not true. All right, let's move on. Maldini a big admirer of Zaniolo, but negotiations will be difficult for two reasons. We already kind of read about Zaniolo. I wanted to read this about Gazidis and see what this is all about. Um, Gazidis did have a short interview, and let's see. AC Milan CEO Ivan Gazidis has revealed what it was about the club that convinced him to leave a job in the Premier League with Arsenal for a new adventure. Gazidis has come under scrutiny since his appointment as AC Milan CEO back in 2018, but his commercial strategy appears to be moving the club in the right direction. Having joined from the Gunners, the South African-born executive has embarked on a mission to help Milan realize the true potential of its brand globally through innovative new partnerships and the establishing of key sponsorships. The Milan chief spoke at the Expo 2020 event in Dubai and was first of all asked about his journey to where he has now given what he is, a man with quite a varied corporate background with the world of football. Okay, with Milan News relaying his comments. I had a unique career in football, which began in 1994 in the United States to organize the MLS. We had to create a new model for football, sustainable, he said. Then in 2009, I went to Arsenal as a chief executive alongside Arsene Wenger in the new stadium, the Emirates Stadium. 3 years ago, I had the honor at arriving at Milan, which was facing a bad period. Milan are a brand global with millions of fans. There's no better project for me. All right, Gazidis, bring us the trophies. Bring us the trophies, Gazidis, and the Milan fans will be happy. Bring us the trophies, and the Milan fans will be happy. Forza Milan, Skillard. Forza Milan, how you doing, my man? I hate it when the club hypes these games. Super jinx. We should all apologize to Gazidis, to be honest. I mean, Gazidis, so far, he's doing the correct stuff. Obviously, Milan's biggest challenge is not going to be finding all these future superstars. Obviously, the challenge is going to be keeping them. So far, things look good as far as the players that they got, as far as the players that they engaged with. Everything is looking good. It is all the Fassone Mirabelli players that are giving us a lot of trouble. So always remember that. Always remember that. All right, guys, let's move on to the Derby since it is Derby week. We spoke about the corporate side. Vercellone, so he pretty much takes care of the corporate side of AC Milan, and I guess Gazidis also has a hand in that. Let's check. Let's see. Okay, let's look at the situation with the starting 11 right away. Forza Ivan. Hopes begin to rise that Tomori could make the starting 11 against Inter. AC Milan are growing in hope that Fikayo Tomori could be fit to start the derby against Inter on Saturday evening, according to a report. Tomori had meniscus surgery back on January 14, and at the time it was announced that his recovery period would be 30 days. But fast forward to 2 days before the game, and there still seems to be a chance for him to start against Nerazzurri. Please do not start Tomori against Inter. According to Milan News, with just over 48 hours left until the starting lineup has to be submitted at San Siro, optimism is rising that the Englishman could make an incredible recovery. Tomori's knee responded well to the gradual increases in workload after the meniscus operation, and therefore the chances of him being called up for the match on Saturday night against Inter are increasing. The choice will come tomorrow after the final training session takes place, but if before it was unlikely, it now seems to be more in the balance. Though no risk will be taken, of course. Yeah, I wouldn't risk Tomori. No way. No way I would risk Tomori. We have the upcoming months are so important to us, and we have all these games that are on paper. We should be winning all these games, so we need Tomori. Against Inter, who's going to be in defense? Kalulu or Romagnoli, guys. If Kalulu and Romagnoli didn't allow Juventus to take a shot on goal, Kalulu and Romagnoli are not going to make it easy for Inter. Do you think losing to Inter will end our chance to win Serie A? Well, look, if we lose to Inter, then we can only hope that. I think if we lose to Inter, it just doesn't go. It's not in our hands anymore at that point. It just becomes we got to see what Inter does, because if Inter is going to create this cushion, this gap, and they're gonna run away with it, like they like to sing, "La capolista se ne va." If they do achieve that, then we have to just hope that something happens. Now, some people on this channel believe that Inter is going to get a dip of form coming up. All right, I predicted that last year, and it didn't happen. In January of last year, I said, guys, watch out, because Inter is going to start to get injuries. Inter is going to start to get some issues, and we're going to start losing games. That never happened. They never got any important injuries. They never lost any games. They kept on going and going and going and going. Now, I can only think that probably the same thing is going to happen this year. So the only way to stay along with Inter is just to keep on winning. You got to keep on winning. You have no fear whatsoever. No fear whatsoever. Courage, courage, courage. You get in there to win every single game. And right now, all these players in Milan, all of them have said that they're fighting for the Scudetto. They believe in the Scudetto. So we're gonna keep on fighting, because there's no way you guys can expect that any of our players, 5 months away from the deadline, have already stopped playing for the Scudetto. There's absolutely no way. There's zero chance of that happening. The whole club is feeling it, and also, of course, guys, the but playing for the Scudetto allows you to finish in the top four, and essentially, because of where we are as a club, we have to finish in the top four. We have to finish in the top four. Uh, okay. So Rebic and Ibra are out, and now Tomori is in doubt. I'm not confident at all. Okay. If a ref is from Serie A, then I'm worried. Inter was out of the CL last year, but this year it's different, though. Yeah, that is true. That is also very true, Christian. Inter being in the CL is going to definitely make it a little bit difficult for them. I guess we have to see what games they're playing. Even though, if we look back at Milan, when Milan was really focused on the CL in that January onwards period, Milan would lose games against teams that ended up being relegated. They would win against I don't know, Ajax, and then they will lose against I don't know, Vicenza. So it was a very it's a reality. It's a reality. The Champions League definitely takes away energy. It definitely does something. Inter voodoo's real. All teams to rebuild, it had to be fucking Inter. Yeah, I'm not worried about Inter at all, guys. I think we're gonna go. I mean, I know for a fact that none of the players have absolutely one shred of worry about this game. We're gonna go in there to fucking destroy. We're gonna go in there to destroy. All right, let's see what else is going on in the Milan Inter derby situation. If we lose against Inter and Atalanta, win the remaining. If we lose against Inter and Atalanta, win their remaining games is just 1 point gap. That's risk even for the top four. Yeah, but hey, man, it's the way it is. You gotta fight. You gotta fight, and it's the way it is. I think Kessie will leave us, and that is good for us. We can bring in Renato Sanchez. True, we already spoke about that. All right, let's keep on focusing on the derby right now. So, what the hell is going on with Rebic? What is going on with Rebic? Where are you guys seeing that Rebic is not playing? Any updates on Tomori? You literally just missed it, Amir. We just spoke about it. Oh, this is nice. New article just came in. Let's see. Guys, can you please update me regarding Rebic? Why is Rebic not available for this game? Milan Lab have succeeded in breaking Rebic. Sorry, I think I missed this. Did Rebic get injured again or something? Can someone please give me an update? Since Mbappe to Real Madrid is a done deal, is there a chance Milan might get some of their players since they're so stacked in the attack? It is possible, the Milan messenger, actually. It is possible. Also because actually, that makes me think that Diaz is most likely staying at Milan. Now, Ronaldo, il fenomeno, who is the president of a team in Spain, was on the show with Bobo Vieri TV, and he said that in Madrid they already done the deal. That Mbappe has signed 50 million net a season. No. I think I don't know if he said net, but 50 million a season for for Mbappe. So Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, again, he is a president of one of the clubs in Spain. He was on the show Bobo Vieri's Bobo TV, his Bobo Vieri show, and he stated that Mbappe has signed for Real Madrid. Um, he said, I don't know if it's true, but this is what they told him. I'm assuming since he is a freaking president, probably his sources are more real than not. All right, let's get into this. The possible starting 11. Let's analyze the starting 11. Rebic has ankle pain, and he was training individually along with Ibra and Tomori. Really? Rebic injured again. I think it's time to let him go. Really? Okay. According to this morning's edition of newspaper La Gazzetta dello Sport, the Rossoneri should line up with Mike Magnan in goal, then a back four formed of Calabria, Kalulu, Alessio Romagnoli, and Teo Hernandez. From right to left. There's still a chance Fikayo Tomori recovers to take Kalulu's place, but it is currently more unlikely than likely. In the midfield, it is a double pivot of Ismael Benacer and Sandro Tonali, which is currently favored. And this has implications further up the field because Frank Kessie is tipped to play in the place of Brahim Diaz as the playmaker, just as he did in the win over Empoli. I agree with this, but the thing is that Pioli has his ideas, and who am I? Who are any of us to tell how Pioli should play the team? To be honest with you, Pioli, when you're coaching a team, you see this team every single day. You're training them. You see what they do. You see how you see what players how they react in certain situations. So I don't know. He prefers Kessie in that role. Personally, I prefer Kessie in the double pivot role, and I would put Sandro Tonali in the attacking midfield role or Benacer in the attacking midfield role. But again, Pioli sees the team every day. Pioli trains this team. Pioli knows a million times better than any of us what the nuances of all these players are and how they react to each other, with each other. Now, when Frank Kessie did play against Empoli, you notice that he didn't touch the ball as much, right? He doesn't get the ball as much in that position, but he did get himself in positions where he could score. So that was a good thing. But aside from that, when Kessie played against Empoli in that role, there wasn't much football going on in that area. There wasn't much football going on in that area. That's a part of the area where I like to see football. But anyway, let's see what happens. Alexis Selemakers is expected to be on the right wing and Rafa Leao on the left wing behind the center forward, Oliver Giroud, as Zlatan Ibrahimovic faced a race against time to get rid of his tendon problem. Paolo Di Canio this is interesting. Paolo Di Canio to Corriere dello Sport. Everything Ibra has done should be recognized, but if few years ago, out of the 20 balls played, 18 were great plays. Now that what the fuck, bro? What the hell is this? Is this English? Everything Ibra has done should be recognized, but if a few years ago, out of 20 balls played, 18 were great plays, now the great plays are 2 and there are 18 lost balls. Paulo Di Canio is a piece of shit. Forget him. Oh, you translated. Did you translate these? Is that what you did? He's bored. Di Canio. Ibrahimovic will continue to make clean chess ball controls and scorpion kicks even at 70, but we're speaking about a team that must play another 15 games. Di Canio just guys, Ibra is 40. And I think none of us here, all of us would agree. We would rather play with him on our team than to play against him. I think everybody would say the same. Ibra is the kind of guy that if he's on the pitch, you would rather he be on your side than the other side. But it is true that this season, statistically speaking, Milan has done more points when Ibra was not there. Kessie will be tasked with basically canceling Brozovic. Yeah, probably. Probably that's what he wants to do. That kind of does make sense. That kind of does make sense. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely actually makes sense. If you can cancel out now, one thing that Inter loves to do, Inter loves to bait you in. They love to bait you in, and then they attack forward. Um, if we can steal the ball as they're trying to bait us in, and then just hit him with a quick counter, we can hurt them real bad. We can hurt them real bad. Yeah. So maybe the Kessie there in that area, being a little bit higher up in that area, can slow down or give problems. And another thing that Inter has that is just a style is they play with a lot. The goalkeeper plays a lot ball to feet, and even in under pressure, they play short balls. Even when the pressure is almost suffocating, they don't just throw the ball away. They still play football in the back. And having Kessie in that role there in that area, try to dismantle that play. If we are successful at that, we're winning 4-0. If we break down Inter's ability to build from the back and their ability to bait teams into their half and then attack them again, if we can break that aspect of our game down, it's over. We're going to hurt them so badly. They're going to cry forever. The probable Milan for 11, Calabria. All trust goes to Calabria. He's great. Kalulu has shown that he can play against the big dogs. Romagnoli, experienced Italian defender. He's played this game many times. Lost some, won some, tied some. Theo Hernandez, absolutely on fire. Theo Hernandez, mission impossible, man. Mission impossible, man. Theo Hernandez made the derby. Theo Hernandez made the derby, guys. So all hats off to Theo Hernandez because he was able to play against Spezia, against Juve without getting a yellow card, and now he is here against Inter. Tonali, probably right now the best player in AC Milan. So no problem with Tonali. Benacer, he looked good when he came in that previous game. He looked really good. He looked really good. The way he scans the pitch when he receives the ball to his feet, he looks left, he looks right, and his first touch, you just see it in his body language. Right, he's just he looks sharp. Benacer looked very sharp against Juventus. Salamakers makes sense. You want to help with the cover, and Salamakers can see there's not much creativity though in this formation. The only person that can create here something is Leao, because Giroud is not going to create any. You can give Giroud 5 billion gazillion dollars. Ask him create something. He won't do it to save his life. So we have absolutely no creativity actually when it comes to this game, except for Theo Hernandez and Leao. and maybe a little bit of Tonali, maybe just tiny bit of Tonali. But aside from Theo and Leao, it's all pretty much role players and with a center forward. So maybe that can be a little bit of um of a downer, but but if you think about it, if you really think about it, this team is perfect to stop what Inter usually tries to do, which is play from the back and bait you in. So players like Salamakers, players like Kessi, players like Tonali, and players like Benacer, and even Leao, if he does it, if they can put pressure, if they can put pressure on that build in the midfield, they can erase Brozovic. They can erase some of their midfielders. Okay, so with this formation, I think it's going to be a tight game. But I think we're going. I mean, I think we're going to get him, guys. I really do. Like, Milan is not messing around. Milan is not messing around. I do miss Rebic. It is a shame that Rebic got injured. I wonder if this is real. Do you guys think that Pioli is playing mind games? Do you think that Pioli is playing mind games? Hmm. But so if we only have Giroud up top, does this mean we get to see Lazetic? Guys, imagine if Lazetic comes in the 93rd minute and scores a winner. Haza. Roy, there is a Primavera player called Marco Nasti. Looks like a promising talent. Juventus tried to sign him in January, but Milan rejected the offer. Yes, I'm very familiar with Nasti. I cannot wait for this player to become a Serie A player and get involved in the seniors, because the memes are going to be the best memes in the world. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that. All right, let's look at this one here. Speaking about Giroud, time to score against Inter. Giroud discusses how Wenger and Pioli are different and reveals personal aims. I need to score more, says Giroud. Let's see what he says. AC Milan striker Oliver Giroud has revealed why he was so proud to sign for the club, insisting that he still believes in the team's chances of winning the Scudetto. You see, these guys believe in it, and they're going to play as if they believe in it. Giroud joined Milan from Chelsea during the summer transfer window, having become a Champions League winner. The latest step in a decorated career, which also includes the World Cup with France in 2018. He started life with the RossonARI well by finding his scoring form in preseason and carrying that into first home game of the season, netting a brace against Cagliari. Yeah, I remember that. But since then, it has been turbulent given he has battled injury and he also had COVID-19. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. Giroud spoke during an interview with the well-known journalist Carlo Pellegatti during an interview for Star Casino Sports, during which he gave some background on his career up to joining Milan and how he has found the first few months with Rossoneri. Okay, let's see what he says. I was proud to sign for the great Milan because I'm a fan of them and because there are many French who have played. Done well and won in the Rossoneri, like Jean-Pierre Papin, who was one of my favorite players. Well, I mean, aside from Jean-Pierre Papin and Marcel Desailly, you don't really have many French players at AC Milan. It's only Marcel Desailly and Jean-Pierre Papin that I can think of. Gourcuff didn't really work out. I guess Theo Hernandez, but he's playing right now. On his nickname, wait. I signed in Montpellier at the age of 23. I was proud to play in League One. I wasn't ready to play in it sooner. Every player needs his time to get to the top. I'm proud of my step to get there. So he was a late bloomer. Okay, I did not know this about him, but this is quite interesting. He was a late bloomer. So he became professional at 23. Quite interesting. And then he won a World Cup. Very good. Let's see. The disparity in financial clout was laid bare today with reports Manchester United's new training kit sponsorship deal is worth as much as Milan's and Inter's match shirt sponsors put together. Wow. Wow. And this is something else, guys, that I want Rohit to talk about. Uh, Yeah, Dorasu also played for Milan. Dorasu had he was okay actually. He wasn't too bad. Uh, um, but players that won with Milan. Anyway, I want this thing here, guys. Saturday, keep make sure you save it on your notifications. Saturday, Rohit is going to be featured on RossonARI TV, and he's going to talk exactly about all the financial situation with AC Milan. He's going to break it down. So after the derby, he's going, we're going to talk about the derby a little bit, obviously, and then you're going to have the post match. There's going to be the post match after the derby. That's going to be with Laird, of course, and then after that, in the evening, Rohit is going to do a show with me, and we're going to go over this article he wrote for Sempre Milan, which was absolutely stunning. And in that article, he also does hint at this thing that the Premier League is just going to skyrocket above the Serie A, and it's going to be uncatchable. So let's see what he says about that. I'm very curious. I can't wait to hear that. I can't wait to hear what he has got to say about that. On his nickname, they call me Sock in French. It means from Dance with the Wolves. I was a bit like a wolf. I have a sentence from Psalm 23 tattooed on my arm. I want to mark my faith on my skin. It's very important to me. At 20, I wanted to get a tattoo. I told my mother, and she told me to write an important sentence on the Bible. On being a world champion with France, at 10, 11 years old, I told my friends that one day I would win the World Cup. It was the dream. Where am I? At 20, 11 years old, I told my friends that one day I would win the World Cup. It was the dream of all the children. They reminded me of the day before the final. After the final, it is difficult to return to work and train. But a phrase that helps me is that football is a continuous beginning. Determination is important. I wanted to win even more trophies. Never give up. Okay. On working with Pioli and Wenger, this is interesting. They're different. Wenger was a very experienced coach, very, very calm. He rarely got angry or screamed. Pioli, to do things well and play our football, takes a lot of passion. He has temperament. He likes to talk loudly, to instill in us motivations and game ideas. They're very different, but I like both personalities. Cool. On Pippo Inzaghi, yes, for a striker, the numbers are very important and you're evaluated on the numbers. That's what you remember at the end of the season. I want, however, to help the team. I'm not selfish. Today, it is too important for a team to have a striker who does the things people don't see. Very, very true. That statement here is a statement that I would like if I was coaching a youth academy team right now, this is what I would show them. Today, it is too important for a team to have a striker who does the things people don't see. From pressing to racing to dictating the passage, opening up spaces. It's a bigger role than numbers, but in the end, we all look at the numbers. This is such a reality. A lot of truth in that. A lot of truth in that. Um, on Ibrahimovic, I don't like this word because my idol is Jesus. I admired Shevchenko and Ibrahimovic, but I haven't said it yet to Zlatan. At 20, he was already the top. I didn't buy his shirt, but my friends gave it to me. Maybe I'll have Ibra sign it. Okay. I didn't know he was so religious. I didn't know. On the real Giroud, the fans have seen the real Giroud, but I know I can do even more to help the team. Now I would like to play more. The coach makes his choices, but I'm ready and I feel very good physically. I'm ready to achieve our goals. I know I need to score more. Okay, good. I'm believing in winning the Scudetto. This is the one. Yes, sure. Now we have an important match against Inter. If we win, we have a good opportunity to be there at the end. I played and scored in the first derby against Tottenham. It was too important for the Arsenal fans. On his personal goal of 2022, my first goal is to win the Scudetto with Milan. Then what comes next, it's a bonus for me. I only have Milan and my family in my head. Bravo. Bravo. Bravo, Giroud. Either he's a great politician or he's a great person. It's one of the two. Either you're a great politician or you're a great man with integrity. You choose. You decide. Okay, all right. Let's see. Let's see. Um, any new articles? Anything interesting here? This player here, Cork City. Okay, let's see what they say about this guy. So basically, this is what was one of the signings for AC Milan during the January transfer window. Uh, we lost. Uh, we lost Kerkez, who was a player that a lot of AC Milan fans wanted to see how he would have developed. They all wanted to see how he wanted to develop. So there is a little bit of remorse in not being able to see that. It looks like Kerkez was sold to Als, that Dutch team, but Kerkez wanted to go. Kerkez was happy to go. Kerkez felt in his bones pretty much that he's ready for professional football. And Milan obviously cannot guarantee him that, especially because right now we have what is probably the in line in the race to be one of the best left backs of the next generation. So the left back position in AC Milan right now is sealed for good. Carrick is, unfortunately, just did not work out. But we did get this player here, youngster. The Primavera has been struggling quite a lot. Let's be honest. It looks like they're getting some wins recently. They did lose the derby, by the way. The Primavera did lose the derby, um, but they are getting some momentum back. They bought this Omeregbe, who had an immediate impact in the Primavera. Nasti is turning out to be a very good player. You have big clubs after him. Roback looked very good against Genoa. Um, then you have this guy, I guess. And then I'm not sure who else I'm missing. Oh, yeah, you have Shaka Toure, who was an exceptional player, for his age at a team like Parma, now in the Primavera. Okay, let's see what this is all about, what they say about this player. And let's see if it's a player even that I don't think AC Milan ever had an Irish player in the club, in the first team. But anyway, let's see what this is all about. One of the pieces of business that AC Milan completed that went under the radar in January was the signing of Hefferman for the youth system. Over the past couple of days, it has been rumored that Hefferman will be joining the RossonARI, and now his contract has officially been deposited, as the league's website shows. There is plenty of fascinating background to his arrival, such as his previous trials with Manchester United and Bayern Leverkusen. The role of Stephen Ireland and the fact his parents are Olympians. Oh, okay. Okay, okay. He arrives as somewhat of an unknown excuse me, he arrives as somewhat of an unknown quantity given his age. And the fact he joins from a league that not many European football fans know too much about. What can Milan expect from Heffernan? We spoke to Cork Echo and Irish Examiner journalist Andrew Horgan. Milan have secured the signing of Heffernan on an initial loan deal. What is the player's background on and how quick has his rise been? Well, Kefal comes from a very prominent sporting family, as his mother, Marion, was a track athlete. His father, Rob, was an Olympic bronze medalist in 2012 for race walking. And his sister, Megan Carr, is a Republic of Ireland underage international and is currently on the books at Cork City. Okay. Uh, Cathell's rise has been quick, but he has impressed at every level he has played with the Republic of Ireland and Cork City underage. He even impressed in his brief cameo for the City senior side in their 3-0 win over Galway on the last day of the season back in October. So he already has senior experience. That's cool. That was his debut, and he became the club's youngest ever player at just 16 years and 185 days. Okay. In your opinion, what is his best role? Center back, unquestionably. But to be honest, that's because I can't recall seeing him play in any other position. He's such a rock at the heart of the defense. I don't think many of his managers wanted to move him out there. Whatever. what are Heffernan's strengths and weaknesses, and there's a current player you would compare him to. You only need to look at him to see how big a presence he is, and he's only 16 years of age. But he is good with the ball. His decision making is good, and he has been known to have the ability to grab a goal at the other end. He has a real leader and a real strong, tough, no nonsense defender. Now, guys, being that in Ireland is one thing, but doing that in Italy is a whole different story. As for his weaknesses, maybe he isn't the fastest. Well, that's a problem, but that's certainly not to say he is slow either. As for the comparison to another player, that's not something that I'd usually do, to be honest. Rather than getting fans overly excited and or putting pressure on him by saying he's the next this or that, I'd prefer to just say, let him be the only careful Heffernan. But maybe he's a bit like Leonardo Bonucci. I'm allowed to say that here? What happens if I... All right, let's check this guy. I haven't seen him. I've not seen him, but we'll look at this. We'll check this out. We actually will check this out. Okay. Uh, let's see what else. Does Hefferman have potential to break into the senior Ireland squad in the coming years? Absolutely. I think it's only a matter of time. Is he ready to make the jump to Serie A, including a new life in Italy? And were other clubs interested? Probably not at this moment. It's one thing being a standout player at under 17 international level, and another thing making an immediate jump up to Serie A. Even though Cafa has the build and strength to cope with Ireland's first division, and that was an end of season dead rubber. I would imagine for now it's just about adjusting to a new style of football and a new way of life in Italy while learning his trade in the academy setup. But if he keeps developing as expected, he will be ready for the Serie A. Okay. Other clubs were interested in him. He had been on trial in the past with Juve, Atalanta, and Roma, while he was recently wearing a Bayern Leverkusen kit. But AC Milan won the race for his signature. Really? Okay. Finally, do you have any inside knowledge on the figures of a deal and whether it could be a potential bargain for Milan? It's a curious thing that the deal has gone through, that Hefferman is now in the city of Milan beginning the next stage of his career, but at the time of writing, there has been no official press release from either club confirming the transfer and its figures. It is believed that when Hefferman signed his first pro deal with Cork City last summer, the contract had a release clause in it, which means the Irish club is only in line to receive a small five-figure sum. What? Five figures? No way. That's it? A small loan fee will be paid, though, while there are also sell-on and appearance clauses included. So, yes, it is definitely a bargain when you consider some of the fees being paid by clubs in football at the moment. Well, let's hope that this guy becomes a Kalulu of a sorts, because that would be just perfect. All right, so again, I'm not very familiar with this player. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what he looks like on the field. Um, I guess we are about to find out. Let's see if this thing is going to work properly. Off topics. Ajax won all 6 games in CL, yet they're paying half in total wages compared to Milan. That's a great example. That's a brilliant example, Zanzuplo, that football wins, not wages. Football wins. Okay, well, look at that the Irish stadiums. Okay. It's hard to tell, really, with this particular highlight because, like, the thing that I can look at is every time Italy played against Ireland, Italy always struggles against Ireland, always, because the Irish are just strong, big motherfuckers. and physically, it's always been a struggle for Italy to play against Ireland. Actually, Italy almost has a curse against Ireland. So that's the only thing I can extract from my opinions regarding Irish football and what kind of players develop in Ireland. Strong physically, perfect for the Premier League. Technically, never anything special, but just strength and power. I guess in this level, he does have somewhat of a commanding presence coming off a defense. One thing is, of course, the level of pressure. This is basically his backyard. Look at the homes, man. Look at the wet. You get this. Look at the gray skies, the Irish gray skies. Why didn't they show how that ball landed? Well, you can't really see much from this. You can't really extrapolate too much from this, but it gives you somewhat of an idea of what kind of player he could potentially be. I mean, you could, as I said, if you can just compare how Ireland has played against Italy. I mean, Celtic has played against. When we played Celtic, we fucking crushed them. But Ireland, when they play against Italy, Ireland is always a tough opponent. Always a tough opponent. So let's see. Let's see. Uh, True, but they kind of paid the whole team salaries by CL games. Okay. Now I was reading Zen Duplo's thing, which was very interesting. I got distracted for a second. Ajax won all 6 games in CL, yet they're paying half in total wages compared to Milan. If they can do it, why can't we? I think we don't need to buy big names, but smart and build team spirit. 100%. 100% Zen. Uh, Ajax have an amazing academy. We don't. That is true too. That is actually true. Our academy doesn't even compare to Ajax, and that's the big problem with AC Milan. That our academy, we had an amazing academy at a certain point. We could have had an amazing. I mean, we did develop players, but there's no connection between the academy and the first team. There's no like I don't even understand what the point of the academy is because under Berlusconi, pretty much it was clear that after the Berlusconi used the academy players that helped him win all his trophies in the beginning. But once Berlusconi had to rebuy players, rebuild the team, he didn't use academy players. He didn't. He kept on buying players, and the academy kind of got left behind. And it has been left behind for a very long time. It looks like these guys right now, Maldini and Co., because out of necessity, we're trying to build it. I hope they do a good job because that can win you so many trophies having a very strong academy. I mean, look at Juve. Juve's academy has been in Italy has been crushing it. There's so many years that Juve wins from the Pulcini to the Berretti, all the stages. They all win the Scudetto, and the seniors and the female team. Milan, that's what Milan need to strive for. They need to strive for a strong academy, and because they have Milan has everything they need in order to do that. He's too young, but time will tell. Yes, time will tell. Imagine the reaction from his school friends when he signed for Milan. I know that would be crazy. Um, Always looks better than slow Magnoli. True, but that kind of paid the whole team salary. All right, guys, let's see if there's anything else left here to talk about. So obviously, there's going to be a pre-match derby pre-live, a pre-match, pre-derby, pre-live, which is probably going to be tomorrow afternoon. and we're going to have the whole crew and Let's Talk Milan, and everybody can say what they think about the team and the game. Let me see if there's any new articles here that I missed that I think could be interesting. But guys, Saturday, 8 p.m., we're going to go over Rohit's article, and we're going to talk about Milan's financial situation, which I think is one of the most interesting things right now going on with AC Milan. But okay, let's read two more articles. Let's read. Oh, let's read three more articles. This one I like. I like the headline. Okay, let's start with this one. Botman. The agent of Sven Botman has once again flirted with the idea of his client joining AC Milan, but also called United a great team. Numerous sources reported that Milan tried to sign Botman during the January transfer window, but Lille did not want to sell the 22-year-old. Though Paolo Maldini and Ricky Massara are now working to make sure they do not miss out on the Dutchman. Milan News are among the outlets to claim that Botman has always been the number one target, so they're trying to wrap him up before June. They speak of an agreement already in place with a player who's happy to join ahead of the 22-23 season, and talks on with Lille over 30 million operation that would be a Magnan-esque. That would be Magnan-esque. Okay. Now, Botman's agent Nicky Brunberg has spoken to Voteball International about his client's future, seemingly confirming that a summer move is on the cards, but refusing to express a preference over a potential destination, with the decision solely on the player's hands. One of the main qualities of Sven is that he is always very confident in making decisions. He does not allow himself to be influenced, and above all, he has a lot of courage. For example, after the loan at Herenveen, it would have been convenient and logical for many to return to Ajax. But Sven decided to go to Lille. It could have been a risk, but that's Sven. He's not afraid to dare. I'm sure he'll make the right decision in the summer. Milan and Newcastle are two great teams. Don't make the mistake of thinking that Newcastle can only be an economic choice. A good project is being born, but Milan are also a very prestigious club. I don't know what to make out of this. If I had a player whose contract was expiring in 2 years, and the agent was pretty much saying that he's leaving the club, I'd be so pissed off. So, thank God we're not Lille. Thank God we're not Lille. But I guess that's just the reality of the matter. It looks like it's going to be between Newcastle and Milan. The one thing that Milan needs to do next year is this year we need to finish in the top four. Milan will finish in the top four. Milan will finish in the top four. And but the important thing is to make sure that they qualify for the next round of the Champions Leagues next year. That is going to be the improvement from this year. From this year, that is going to be the improvement, qualifying to the next round. Because if we did qualify to the next round of the Champions League, we would have gotten one of these players. So if you want to mark a bench on improvement and the growth, we need to qualify for the next round next year. At least Lille will get something for him. We let our players go for free. True. Very, very true. Skillard. Very, very true. Okay, then let's go to this one here, which was very interesting. Gazzetta dello Sport. Today's edition of Gazzetta dello Sport focuses on the lifestyles of Stefano Pioli and Simone Inzaghi, remarking on how they are very similar coaches in terms of background, but they have different ways of enjoying life away from the field. The intercoach lives in the Garibaldi area with his wife, Gaia Lucariello, who is an entrepreneur in the field of fashion, in a very large apartment that is spread over 3 floors with an indoor swimming pool. He often has guests over, including his brother Filippo, who goes to visit plenty, as he is not far away, being based in Brescia. Okay, why are they giving us their private lives information? Simone already knew Milan very well, the city where he lived for about 15 years ago when his playing career was at an end and where he feels at ease. His wife is passionate about fashion, loves the Monte Napoleone area and the area around Corso Garibaldi, so the rich area. Stefano Pioli also chose to live in the central areas of Milan, and he first stayed in a hotel on Piazza della Repubblica and then moved to an apartment in the Corso Magenta area. He loves to ride a bicycle, but also to walk when his wife Barbara often joins him. The couple visit their grandchildren regularly while Pioli rarely crosses into the elegant shopping streets. His love for food often leads him to various restaurants outside his comfort zone. The paper mentions a time when Simone Inzaghi, together with his wife, I thought this article was going to be more about football, but it's about their personal lives. I don't care. All right, this one here. We'll finish with this one today. The journalist urges fans not to manufacture divide among Milan management that doesn't exist. Okay, let's see what this is all about. AC Milan decided not to invest a big amount of resources into the January window, but this is not because of any kind of disagreement among the leadership, a journalist has claimed. There has been frustration from some sections of the fans base due to the lack of activity last month. While the Rossoneri's only real move on the market was to replace Pietro Pellegrini with 18-year-old centre forward Marco Lazetic, Inter decided to bolster their options by signing Robin Gosens from Atalanta and Felipe Caicedo from Genoa, while Juventus landed Dusan Vlahovic and Denis Zakaria. Now, this thing about Caicedo just reminds me, I know that people start to get triggered when I say Belotti is a great chance. I want you, and I know everybody says, and everybody thinks that when I say Belotti, I think you think I'm saying Belotti is going to come to Milan and he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. When I say that Belotti is a great chance for Milan, I'm talking about offensive depth. You want to talk about offensive depth? Look at Inter. They have Dzeko, they have Lautaro, they have Sanchez, they have Correa, and now they have Caicedo. That's called offensive depth. Belotti is a great opportunity to kind of do the same thing, to build offensive depth. I wish people would understand this, but nobody does. The well-known journalist Franco Ordine has written a column for Milan News during which he reflects on the January transfer window, revealing his belief that the management are not divided like some fans and pundits have attempted to portray, but that there also should not be huge expectation for a big summer spending spree. Hold on, let me read that again. The well-known journalist Franco Ordine has written a column for Milan News during which he reflects on the January transfer window, revealing his belief that the management are not divided like some fans and pundits have attempted to portray, but that there also should not be a huge expectation for a big summer spending spree. Okay. It is not necessary to understand the mood of Milan fans, without, however, descending to levels of vulgar revolt. It is necessary to understand not only why we are in sight of the second derby of the season, but because in some way the management, perfect when referring to the economic difficulties of the shareholder, of Beppe Marotta has followed the pattern that was in the days of Adriano Galliani for Milan, in that case with Silvio Berlusconi's money. So he's talking about how Inter kind of resembles Silvio's, the way they spend money, and resembles Galliani, etc. Rather, it is good to avoid an error in football grammar, that is, to divide the responsibilities between managers and shareholders, so as to repropose the ancient dualism that certainly did not bring results in the early days of Boban and Maldini. The choice not to spend except for first choice targets, Botman and Renato Sanchez, was Milan's, and each of the two divisions must. I read this article. I read it in Italian, actually. I did read this article, and I'm sorry guys, but this translation is not good. You know what? They need to give me the job. I'll translate this stuff for them. The choice not to spend except for first choice targets, Botman and Rato Sanchez, was Milan's, and each of the two divisions must take responsibility. The blame game serves no one except to divide what has united in the past, namely Gazidis alongside Maldini, Massara, and Pioli. It is evident that by doing so, the risks increase because Milan, with Juventus strengthened, they must play against Napoli and Atalanta for the Champions League, remembering that while luckily against Allegri, they have already played without Vlahovic. They will still have to face Napoli. I don't know. Is it me or this is just written really poorly? Was this just like Google translated? It is also deeply wrong to mention that Milan could spend 120, 150 million next summer. I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting somewhere around 90 million maximum. 90 million max. It is also deeply wrong to mention that Milan could spend 120, 150 million next summer to buy a very high-level central defender, midfielder, and striker. In this case, it means cultivating the illusions of the fans whose memory will then have to be reckoned with. Finally, I would like to point out a figure that can lead to some healthy reflection. Do you know how much Roma spent on their wage bill? 180 million. More than double the amount spent by Milan. This is not about budget, Scudetto. The future of a club has to do with it. If you have clean accounts, you can have a future. Otherwise, sooner or later, you have to pay the heavy debt bill. I'm sorry, but this article is I couldn't even follow that shit, man. I could not even follow it. I actually did read that article in Italian, and basically, what that article was saying, it was just and there was more to this article too. But it was just saying how Inter resemble a little more so Berlusconi, Galliani, and how they spend money, and how Juventus does their business, and how Milan is doing their business. But whatever. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. I'm expecting loans plus options to buy. Well, it doesn't make sense because who because we don't need to do like loan options to buy. Option to buy is Florenzi, is Messias, is these kind of operations. Milan have in theory, Milan should have a decent treasure chest coming this summer. They should have a decent treasure chest coming up this summer. So I'm expecting more than just loans and options to buy. As I said, I'm expecting three big signings at the level of, between the 30, 25 up million. And maybe we can also get Belotti on a free. If we can get these four players, Belotti on a free, to start building the offensive depth of the squad, we can get this Lang guy, the Dutch guy, or Berardi. They kind of cost the same. Or any kind of player that plays in those kind of roles, offensive roles. Then we get Sanchez and Botman. That'd be the best kind of summer we can have this summer. And then our team is ready to kick some serious ass. And then at that point, the next transfer windows, then we can go for the big guns. But yeah, all right. All right, guys, that was it. I think we covered everything for today. The derby coming up. Guys, don't be scared of Inter. If you're scared of Inter, then you need to go and slap yourself in the face. If you're worried about Inter and you're scared about Inter, you're not a man. Okay? So please be a man and don't be afraid of Inter. We're going to go in there and we're going to kick their ass. That's the mentality we should have. That's the mentality that the team probably does have. So, Forza Milan all day, every day, and so on. Guys, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I saw a lot of people did like the video. The Paul Fink strategy does work. Guys, till the next one, arrivederci. Peace, love, and prosperity. Ciao.